Today I'm going to be talking about what courses you should take in university or in school to help you prepare to be an entrepreneur. So today's question comes from Martha, who wrote in asking, Evan, I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in procurement and supply management. Heading to my second year in August. As an entrepreneur, can you please advise me on another course I can do alongside that in order to be skilled? So thank you for the question, Martha. A great question, one that I get a lot from young entrepreneurs who are in school or starting school because they want to start their own business and are hoping to use their education to help them as much as possible. From my own experience, is kind of all I can share with you. I went to University of Toronto, and unfortunately there weren't too many courses that would help me with my entrepreneurship skills. There was one course in small business management, so if there is anything that is about entrepreneurship or small business, you definitely want to take that on. What else I would look at is try to find something related to marketing, finance, accounting. Those might give you some of the hard skills that you need to run your business. But what I would do is try to connect with some of the clubs that happen at university. I think that the greatest experience that I got out of the university was being able to find people who also were interested in entrepreneurship, and we actually started our own first business out of university. So I was running my company while taking classes in university. So trying to find like-minded people, see if there's an entrepreneur club or a small business club that you can join up with, or if there's any seminars or events. Because these people, you know, they'll give you some ideas and advice, but also could become lifelong friends and business partners as you continue to grow up, you know, and as these people graduate and start their own businesses, you have people you can potentially connect to and rely on down the line. So I try to think beyond just the courses and also try to connect with the community of entrepreneurs around you. If your eventual goal is to start your own business, I'd also look at potentially starting up or partnering with an existing company and taking on a part-time job. So find a company who is doing exactly what you want to do, a smaller company, somebody who's either a solo entrepreneur or has a few employees, but not a big company, and try to learn as much as you can about their business, how they got started, all the operations. You know, entrepreneurs always need help. So if you can prove to be a valuable resource for them, then that can start giving you some ideas on how they run their business and give you some thoughts as well as if this is the type of business you want to run or not. A lot of times we have ideas for businesses, but once we get into it, like, this is a terrible idea. So being paid by somebody to learn is a great opportunity to, in a low-risk way, learn about the industry, find out if it's for you, gain some skills, and that can be in addition to doing your regular university coursework. One final suggestion is something that really helped me with my university career is I was starting my business while I was at university. I was in third year, I believe. And what I actually did was I talked to one of my marketing professors and created my own course with him. So I don't know if this is an option at your university or not, but we were able to do it at University of Toronto, where I created my own course. And with this professor, he basically gave me a credit. So we didn't have an exam. We had to kind of come together and figure out how I was going to, you know, what the course was going to be about, how I was going to do my research, what findings I was going to create. And I basically made the course about my business. And I was able to run my business, get his advice, and also get a credit for it. So you have to talk to, you know, professors. They have to know you. They have to be willing to mentor you for the semester, people to give you that credit. But it's another opportunity to potentially use your university or school education to be able to get, you know, more out of it to help you build your business. So one, look for any entrepreneur small business courses. If they don't exist, look for anything that might give you some hard skills, marketing, finance, accounting, any of those kind of courses. Two, try to get involved again in the university community. Look at clubs that you might be able to join or any events or seminars that are happening. And three, see if you might be able to create your own course with a professor around a topic that is interesting that can help you launch your business. And then four, also again, look to see if you might be able to get a part-time job outside of the university where you can learn from an entrepreneur and also gain the skills that you need when you are ready to launch your own business.
Reading should not be your priority. Learning should be your priority. There used to be only a small number of ways to learn. It used to only be reading or maybe going to lectures and learning from people, but reading was one of the fastest ways to learn because you could take somebody's life and in one book condense the whole thing, all of the lessons, and here you go, chance to learn. Now though, there's so many different ways to learn. there's podcasts, there's videos. And so you need to understand what is the best way that you learn. Reading does not have to be in your top priority, but learning has to be. The difference between where you are today and where you will be in 5 years, that growth will be in direct relation to how much you learn, how much you feed this brain right here with knowledge that shifts the way you think, but it doesn't have to come from reading. So looking at my story as an example, I used to read all the time. Growing up, I used to read. I'm 39 now, so I used to read a lot. Growing up, it was the only way to learn. And the idea of being able to look at any famous entrepreneur and look at their story and how they got started, that was a lot of knowledge. That allows you to step into somebody's world, right? If you don't like your environment, you don't like the people around you, you don't want to become your parents or the people in your community, you want something better, you want something bigger, then you need to start to surround yourself with those people. And reading is a great way to step into their world. And so I used to read every single week. Not quite every day, but almost. I was reading a lot. I was voracious. But as soon as video came out, I quickly shifted. I would much rather watch a video than read a book. I just learn better that way. I would much rather have an Elon Musk video and watch him and see him tell his story and look at the body language than I would reading a book about somebody else telling Elon Musk's story. That's me. That's how I learn. I listen to 0 podcasts because auditory is the slowest way for me to learn. If the only way to learn was to listen to podcasts, and I would be all over it and I would force myself to do it because I love learning. But because there's so many different options and I love video first, I default to learning through video like this. Videos like this on my multiple channels. And so video is by far number 1 for me, and I consume video pretty much every single day of my life. Number 2 would be reading, and a huge drop down to number 2. I'll read maybe 3 to 4 books a year. And then number 3 would be auditory, which would be podcasts, and I consume 0 podcasts. I don't know that I've listened to an entire podcast all the way through. It would have to be some person that I can't find the video or a book on, and the only information, the only way to get it is to listen to a podcast. So the point of all this is not to slam on podcasts or audiobooks. I have my own audiobook. I read it myself. It's fire. If you love learning from auditory, then you should go and go all in on that. The point is to prioritize learning. You need to have learning as a regular part of your life. If you do not learn consistently, then you will end up in the same spot you are, right? You will be in the same spot you are in 5 years if you do not learn. But it's figuring out where do you learn best and going all in on that strategy. So what's the best way for you to learn? I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is, who do you want to learn from? You want to learn from people who've done more than you have in a certain field or industry, right? If you want to learn to be a better parent, a better husband, a better wife, a better entrepreneur, a better salesperson, a better marketer, who's the person that you want to learn from? And it doesn't mean you have to become that person. The goal isn't to be the next Steve Jobs. It's to learn one thing from Steve Jobs that makes you a better version of you. So who is the person that you most want to learn from right now? Step number 2 is identify, how do you learn best? How do you learn best? I don't care what other people are doing. Do you learn best through videos? Do you learn best through reading? Or do you learn best through auditory, listening to podcasts and audiobooks? How do you learn best? And then number 3 is create a regular learning schedule. If you know who you want to learn from, the types of people, and you know your learning style, then what's your ongoing regular learning schedule? It has to be in your week, every single week. Whether that's a daily thing, whether you make that part of your daily routine, I'm a big fan of that. Otherwise, it's got to be somewhere in your week. You will never learn the material that you want to learn. You will never be able to emulate and model somebody else's success to turn you into the best version of yourself if you don't have that as a part of your regular week, right? Your actions need to map to your ambitions. What's in your calendar has to map to you accomplishing the goals that you want. If you just have goals, if you just want to learn, you want to become that person, but it's not in your schedule anywhere, you're never going to become it.
If you want to change your life in the next 30 days for free, check out my training right here below. Or if you want to learn how to start as an entrepreneur, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy them. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.